I started judo when I was 11 years of age. Got into karate, I think, when I was 15, 16. And that became my life thrust. And I was just so drawn to the idea of this. So off I went. I feel that that became my through line for my life, meaning that starting so young, I got to make martial arts my main focus and have everything else fit in around that. For me, it was a matter of fitting everything else into my passion for the martial arts. And I've often said, and I mean it, that everything good in my life has come as a result of that passion, you know, for the martial arts. Movies came again as a result of martial arts. I had no aspirations of getting into movies. It came just quickly from Chuck Norris, Bob Jones, my partner, coming out to Australia, 78. I went to the States in 79 working as a personal bodyguard, as you probably know, for Linda Ronstadt, James Taylor, and of course I called Chuck. We started training. He's ready for the Octagon movie. Knew I could handle Okinawan weapons and everything, and asked me if I'd play his main nemesis. And that's what started the whole movie career. And I'm totally content with the journey I've had, with the fun I've had, with the people I've met, because I realized that acting or being a movie star was still not the prime aim for me in my life. It was still, movies was a way to make a bit of money, to be able to afford to spend a bit more time in the dojo, a bit more time training. And that's been my life, and absolutely no regrets. When I look back on that, the chance to infect other people with the joy of martial arts, of trying to stay in shape, the whole, every aspect that goes with that, I think that kind of really tickled me. And I'd finish that off by saying I met up with James Taylor, and we sat in a hotel room a few months ago in Sydney in Australia. For 3 hours we chatted. He basically said, if I hadn't met you, he said, I'd probably be dead now. So I don't look at that as about me. I look at that as that martial arts actually had an influence on his life, meaning just because I did martial arts, that had the effect on someone like James. I thought, how cool is that, you know? As martial artists, every waking day we have a chance to learn something new. I mean, how good is that, providing you have the desire? You know, where's somebody else to teach me something a little bit differently or something new? So, because I would often say I don't want to be the same martial artist I was 5 years ago. Hence the old saying, always being a student, you know? This idea of being a master, it's like, well, mastery, does that mean you've achieved everything? Where do you go from there? The idea of being a student and keeping bodies in motion, as we call it, always trying to set a new goal. I think that's what it's all about. And thank goodness I'm surrounded by people like Master Boys and Sensei Benio Kides and Chuck Norris, who are great examples of never stopping to set new goals of learning and achievement. You know, and I think that's a wonderful thing. If I had not dared to step out of my little pond into the big pond being the US, I just can't imagine what my life would have been. An opportunity presents itself. What's the worst that can happen? Once you get rid of, well, I can deal with what the worst, then look at all the good and incredible greatness that can happen by daring to participate. A lot of people are doing jobs they hate every day. It's, oh, I have to do it, I have to pay the rent, I have to do this. For us, just, we're doing what we love every day, you know? And things are attracted through having that passion. I thought, it doesn't get better than that.